NexLevel Conversations. I'm Shawnte, your host, and I am excited about tonight. So tonight we are doing something a little bit different and something that I want to start doing. My purpose for tonight is so that we can make sure that we are providing you all of the tools that you need to take your life from chaos to balance, and and making sure that you get everything that you need to create the life that you love. And the second point of tonight's show and what we're going to be doing is I want to make sure that we are covering all of the topics that you continue to ask us about. And we use your questions, we use your comments to develop those topics, to develop our shows. Me and my team, we read all of your comments, we read all of your questions. And so we want to make sure that we are getting everything and we are providing you all the tools that you need in the topic and covering the topics that you find interesting. And so tonight what we're going to do is we are going to ask me anything. I don't know what God was thinking when he gave me this idea, but I'm actually really excited about it. And it was very interesting because when I posted the show title for tonight, questions immediately started coming in. So I am really, really, really excited to go through the questions that have come in, as well as the questions that you are going to answer. So what we're going to do, the way that we're going to do this tonight is a lot of people have already sent in quite a few questions. And so I have put them all in my nice little NexLevel box. And I'm going to draw questions out and answer as many of these questions as I can in the first half of the show. And then while we're in the show and while you're listening and we're talking about different things, you can drop additional questions in the chat. And so the second half of the show, I will begin to answer the questions that you drop in the chat. And so again, tonight's title is Ask Me Anything. So no topic is off limits. I am going to do my best to be as open, as vulnerable, as honest as I can possibly be. Hopefully you guys don't get too outrageous with your questions, but I do promise to be very transparent and give you what I can. And if there is a question that I cannot answer or do not feel that I have an adequate answer to, we will table that question and I will come back to it. So this is something we are going to start implementing once a month, and because I think it's fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. So let's get started. Okay, so our first question tonight. Oh, okay, let me put them all in. And I have not gone through the questions. So the first question in Ask Me Anything, you can ask me anything on this evening. All right. Whew. Okay. We got tough right out of the box. Okay. When did you consider yourself a success? When did you consider yourself a success? That's a very good question. God is funny. So I've done a lot of things in my life. For those of you who know my background, I have been a civil litigation paralegal since I was 19. So almost 26, 27 years. At the end of this month, I will be 45 years old. And I've been successfully doing that for a very long time. And I recently, over the last few years, I started the NexLevel Corporation. It's a nonprofit corporation, and the development of all the things that we are doing here at NexLevel. So I'm going to answer this question on both of those tiers as far as my business life is concerned, and then I'm going to answer it as far as my personal life is concerned. Because success, for me, the way that I define it, success is whatever it is that you set out to do and you are doing that. So success looks different for every person. And success is different for me in different areas of my life. There was a long period of time where I thought that I was being successful in my marriage. And I believed that I was, until I reached a point where it looked as if I wasn't successful. There was a long period of time when I was learning my craft in the legal profession, where it was hard for me to even see success. And I knew that I had reached a point of success in the legal profession when I stopped feeling like a imposter for a very long time. And I'm really good at my job. I really, really, really am. God really blessed me. I'm really good at what I do. But even being good at what I did not feel as if I belonged. I did not feel as if I was living up to the expectations that I set for myself. And so it wasn't until I stepped fully into who I was and stopped feeling like an imposter in the courtroom and in my profession that I felt as if I had defined and I had reached a level of success. And what it did was it freed me to just continue to go higher and higher and higher in my profession, because I became comfortable and I was doing successfully with confidence the thing that I had set out to do. In my personal life, I've had a lot of different moments of success. I had success when I set out to, in 2016, when I said that I wanted to be healthy. I had success. And when I reached my goal in 2018 and lost the first 50 something odd pounds, that was success for me, because I had a goal and I reached that goal. I worked continuously at that goal. And so I was successful. I've been successful in maintaining that. And so it's different levels of success for me. Here, even next level. I am not going to pretend that I feel like I've reached success. I've reached it on some different levels. Next level is so new. There are so many things. There are so many goals. There are so many visions that I have, and we have not reached those yet. We're still working and working to achieve them. So right now, I'm still working towards that success. But the small goals that we've set for ourselves, like getting our show set up and actually starting the magazine, that's success for me. And so at every step of the way, I find some level of success. And I think that's probably the best way that I can answer that. So hopefully that answers it. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Well, that's very, very, very interesting. I don't see myself in Dallas. I'm going to say that right now. I see myself in 10 years, I will be 55 years old. I will be running a very successful and profitable multimedia corporation that is helping women all over the world. We will be speaking on different stages. We will have a national magazine that is interviewing different women and helping business owners and shining light and allowing women of all nature, of all races to tell their story. I will be traveling. I will be married again. I will be taking care of being in a position, a stronger position to take care of my family. I will be spending every day doing something different, probably in a different city. I will be, I'll be living in a totally on a higher scale, because I'm already living, but on a higher level. That's just high level. That's where I see myself in 10 years, just being even more fabulous. Next Level Conversations will be a fully syndicated show on a major network, and I will have an entire crew, and just being able to bring you do even more of what it is that we're doing now. That's where I see myself in 10 years. That's where I know I'm going to be in 10 years. All right, question number next. How do you organize your time? Ooh, okay. How do I organize my time? People talk about me. People talk about me because I don't do things very normal. And it's very interesting. I start every single day without fail. I go to bed early. I go to bed early. I go in early. Ain't no point in me lying. And when I say early, if I'm up past 7:30, 8 o'clock, no, I'm not happy. So I go down early and I start my day pretty early. Sometimes 1:30, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And every single time I start those days, regardless of what time it is, I wake up fully. I do not wake up to alarm clocks. at all. I allow my body to wake itself up when God determines that it's time for me to get up. So some mornings I may go to bed at 8 o'clock, but may not get up until 5 o'clock. Other times I'll go to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I'll be up at 1 o'clock. But regardless of how I start my day, I started with God. I started spending time, quiet time, reading the word, listening to God, talking to God all the time. This is every single day. And then I allow him to direct my day. I don't just make decisions about how I'm going to spend my time in the day. I have a general idea of the things that I need to do, but I am consulting God throughout the whole day. God, what is the next thing for me to do? And the way that I realized that we do it, and it took me a while to realize this, I first do what's necessary, then I do what's possible. Okay, I and that seems to be the way that the day just rolls somehow. God directs it. And I managed to hit everything that I need to hit. And I know this because I remind myself of this all the time. There's enough time in every day to do the things that God has for you to do. And when I give him the day, I have enough time to touch all the things and all the people that I need to touch. So I first do what's necessary. And God lets me know what's necessary for the day. I'll hear it and I'll move into it. Even when I'm at work, I defer to my boss. What are the things that are necessary for today? As opposed to trying to touch everything. And anything that I don't touch for the day, I'm okay with letting it go and saying, okay, that's for another day. That's not for today. I had to stop trying to fit everything into the day because it was wearing me out. And so that's how I prioritize my time. I wake up with God, and then I hit the gym because that's necessary. That's part of my day. That's part of my routine. That's part of keeping me calm. That's part of keeping my core strong, my mental, physical, emotional core. I work on that first every single morning. And because I strengthen my core, I'm able to go through the rest of the day. So that's how I organize my time. And this is even on the weekends. This is all day, every day. So I don't run to everywhere everybody wants me to go. I move slow. I'm not going to play. I move slow. If I get there, I get there. I do not overcommit myself. I have no problem saying no, I'm not going to go. I have no problem saying I'm not going out there late at night. All my friends, they know me, understand me. Sometimes it's a problem, but we've learned to work things out that I have to be, it's necessary in order for me to do the things that I have to do. And so that's how I organize my time. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Okay, y'all got some really good questions. When did you know God called you to do what you do? Again, I've been really, really, really blessed. So I look at my I call my life my Old Testament life and my New Testament life. There was a me before I really became aware and mindful. I lived a life and I did some things, and then I've hit what I like to call my do-over, which is my resurrected life, and I thank God for it. For the first half of my life, again, I have been a civil litigation paralegal since I was 19 years old. But I will tell you that I've always known that I was going to be in the legal profession. There's never been a doubt about it. I saw a vision of myself in the legal profession, in an office, doing law when I was a very young girl, a very, very, very young girl. And that vision brought me through a lot of dark times. So when I was coming up, I tried to take my life a couple of times because I was feeling hopeless. And God would remind me of what he showed me. And in reminding me of what he showed me, he would always tell me, there's more, there's more, there's more. And I didn't fully understand it. But when I hit about 17 years old, I finally heard those words, there is more. And so because I had already seen myself in an office. I intentionally never took a job in retail. I never took a job in fast food, anything. I knew what I was going to do. I knew it. I saw it and I moved. I made steps. I made decisions towards what it was that I saw. And that's something that I do. When God shows me something, I move in it. I mean, I'm not going to stop moving until I see what it is that he has shown me. And so that was the first half. That was the first half of my life. That was my Old Testament life, which has been absolutely magnificent, and I'm still in it. That's the reason why I find so much pleasure and joy in what I do, because I'm doing what God showed me and told me that he called me to do. So how did I know? I think the question was, how did you know God called you to do what you do now? And so now that I'm in my New Testament life, I know this because in 2016, when I was in the darkest time of my life, once again, now that I'm actually thinking about it, the darkest time of my life, God showed me a vision of me on stage talking to thousands and thousands of people, and not just myself. He showed me my whole crew, and different and a lot of different other women. We were on stage holding seminars. We were talking to people. People were being touched, and that's how I knew. That's really how I knew. I see that vision, and I haven't seen that vision come fully to pass yet. So I know I have to keep moving in what it is that God has shown me. And he showed me that at a dark time in my life when I couldn't see anything else. And he intentionally waited until all of my sight was gone. And then he showed me that. And since then, he's just shown me different pieces. I see it. I see things, and he tells me things. I have dreams and stuff like that. And so all of it is moving in alignment with what I believe he has for me to do. And so I keep making steps towards the things that God has shown me. And that's how I know. I mean, I have no other way. I know it to the core of me, and I believe God. I believe what he has shown me, because everything he's ever shown me has come to pass. And so that's how I know. Hopefully that works. All right, question number next. Oh man. Okay. I know you live a life of purpose and try to always stay positive and do your best. But what's your thorn? What do you struggle with the most? Oh man. Oh man. So I'm going to read this question again. I know you live a life of purpose and try to always stay positive and do your best. But what's your thorn? What do you struggle with the most? Okay. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Okay. I'm going to be honest. I said I was going to be honest. I said I was going to be vulnerable. I do. I live a life of intention. I'm very intentional about the way that I live, about every day, about the way that I think, about the things that I feed myself in everything. And I do. I struggle with a lot of things. My thorn, and the thing that I struggle with the most is masturbation. I do. I'm a recovering person who likes to enjoy self-pleasures. And so I struggle with that consistently, and stand where God has told me to go, stand where God has told me to be. It's something that I fight every single day, even worse than food. I have to, I cannot watch certain things on television. I cannot read certain books. I cannot go around certain people, because they certain things feed that thing that's deep down inside of me. And so the way that I don't fight it. I acknowledge what it is, and I don't run from it. There used to be a point where I wouldn't have told y'all. There's no way in the world I would have told y'all that. And so, but I fight it. I've fought it since I was about 13 years old. and it has been it has been that thorn, that thing that stays right here with me. And I'm always hearing the voices go, just do it, just do it, just do it. And I have to be intentional about saying no. So I work out. I monitor my food. I keep my hormones levels going. I stay busy. I keep my mind focused on the things of God so that it doesn't get idle. And I especially now that I'm not married, I cannot engage in the sex the way that I enjoy. I enjoy sex and I enjoy myself. And so that is not, for me, that is something that God has told me no to. And so it's a struggle for me to not do that. And I've been doing good and I thank God for it, because it's nothing but the grace of God. It's nothing but the grace of God, because it's rough. I'm not going to play with you. It's rough. It's rough because we all have these needs, we all have these temptations, they arise. And so I'm always moving. I box a lot so that I can get some of the energy out of me, and I run so that I can get it out. I focus on what I read. I focus on what I eat. I stay in my word, because it's a struggle. It is a struggle for me, but I thank God that I've realized through this the power that God has to keep you, because He will keep you if it's your desire to be kept. And it is my desire to be kept. And so God has continued to keep me. Do I win every day? No. I'm not going to even pretend to say that I do. But how have I managed to um to keep it at bay? Like I said, I do a whole lot of reading and stuff, but I had to even get to that point where I could say no. And that took a lot of fasting. I would fast from any level of pleasure for myself for 60, 90, 100, 6 months, 100 days, different things like that, long periods of time until it was killed. But I also know that it's something that that I struggle with. It's a thing that's on me. So that's my thorn. Can y'all please not ask any more of those personal questions? um, if given the opportunity to change one thing in life, what would it be and why? If given the opportunity to change one thing in life, what would it be and why? Hmm. Given, if I could change one thing in life, what would it be? And I'm going to assume whoever asked me that question that it would be that's my life. Okay, so I'm gonna say this just uh, because it's just an is, but at the same time, I want to preface this by saying I thank God for everything that has happened in my life, because it's every step, every moment, everything, good and bad, that is the reason why I am sitting right here on this show at this moment, at this time, being able to talk to you. Okay, so I'm grateful for everything, even the bad things. But that's a realistic question. If I could change one thing, what would it be? And the thing that I would change is, again, okay. The thing that I would change is I would I would have never trusted my stepfather to be a father, because it was that trust in him to be a father that put me in a room that allowed him to sexually abuse me at a very young age. That would be the only thing that I would change in life. But I will tell you again, I'm saying even that I'm I'm thankful for it, because had that not happened, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be who I am today. But I would not have trusted him to be. I wouldn't have trusted the words that he said, and his attention and his pretend love as a father, which wouldn't have put me in that room. So that's one thing that I would change. Other than that, I wouldn't change anything else. I feel like y'all all up in my business right now, and it's just not okay. It's not okay. What does the next 5 years look like in your mind? I think I just did this. Okay, somebody asked me about the next 10 years. Okay, so the next 5 years. So the next 5 years, I will be 50 years old. One of the things I am going to tell you is that that six-pack abs, I will have those six-pack abs. Okay, by my birthday, by my 50th birthday, I will have those abs if it's the last thing that I do. We will. I will also. The next 5 years, I've really planned out for the next 10, but that's okay. The next 5 years, the nonprofit, we started a nonprofit called For You Daughter. And our nonprofit will be fully up and running and fully funded. And so that I am really excited about doing over the next 5 years, and that being completed over the next 5 years. And NexLevel Magazine, we will have, in the next 5 years, we will have added not just NexLevel Magazine, but to the NexLevel corporation as a whole. We will have added to our staff. We will have new studio space. We will have tremendous growth. We'll have tremendous growth, and we will be on stages. We will be and my publishing company will be up and running in the next 5 years. So yeah, I'm excited about the next 5 years. I'm excited about the next 10 years. Okay, so oh man, come on, y'all. Do you think you will find true love again? Do you think you will find true love again? That's a very interesting question. It is. It's an interesting question. And I am going to tell you that my first inkling is to say I didn't have it the first time, but that would not be true. That would not be true, because I think everything is intentional. And as much as I knew how to love, I had love. And so that was the truest love that I was able to give. So I'm going to start by saying that. Do I think that I would find it again? The answer to that is unequivocally yes. There is not a single doubt in my mind. Matter of fact, let me tell it, I already have it. I already have found it. It has already, we just haven't connected yet. It's already mine. We just haven't come in, we just haven't made that connection yet. And God is growing us and building us. We're both climbing at the same time. So I don't know that there's anything to find. I just believe that there's something, we just have to connect. But true love is mine. In the truest sense that I know it on this level. The love that I knew on the first level was that, and the love that I now know on this level, yes, I know it to be fact, and I'm excited about it. I look forward to it. All right. What makes you so passionate about what you do? A couple of things. A couple of things make me passionate about what I do. One, I enjoy helping people. I enjoy sharing stories. I enjoy talking about God. I enjoy hearing other people's stories. I enjoy watching people have these aha moments when they have realized something about themselves. I enjoy having one-on-one conversations with people and them being able to see experiences in a different way. I enjoy just having something complicated and digging in and rebuilding it and finding all the details. I enjoy creating. God makes me passionate about what I do, because I enjoy helping people. I enjoy serving people, and I enjoy making people feel like there is more in life. It's a passion of mine. So yeah. So I guess you make me passionate about what it is that I do. Okay, so I'm gonna answer this last question, and then we are going to move it and turn it over so I can see what questions you guys have for me in the comments. Is there anyone besides God that inspires you to get up every day and keep going after a major lifestyle change? Is there anyone besides God that inspires you to get up every day and keep going after a major lifestyle change? Yes, there is. And that's me. That's me. In my Old Testament life, I didn't value myself enough to realize how important I was to me. And so I did not fight for me like I needed to. And I wasn't important enough in my own life. And so I thought I got up, I made changes, I did things for everybody else. And I thought that was enough. And I thought that was big enough to pull me across any gulp, take me through any problem, find the energy, find the courage. I thought other people was enough to do it. And it wasn't. It really wasn't. It wasn't until I got serious about me and I began to see me and realize my value. So other than God, Shawnte inspires me. I'm inspired by myself. I'm inspired to always remember who I am. I'm inspired to always remember my value and treat myself as if I'm valuable. I'm inspired by the things that God has shown me, that He's told me He wants me to do, that He has for me to do. I'm inspired by learning more about myself. That's big enough to pull me through absolutely anything. I don't look to people anymore to help me fill that gap or help me get over it, or I'm doing it for them. They are, everybody else, including you. You are a factor. You are motivation, but I'm my inspiration. Realizing more about me, figuring out me, and being true to me. I'm my inspiration, and I think I'm a pretty good inspiration. So, okay, I'm gonna do one more question. I know I said I was gonna do one last one, but I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do one more question because this is actually pretty fun. And oh, who is your mentor? Who is your mentor? Who is my mentor? Who is my mentor? Who is my mentor? This is gonna sound stereotypical, okay? But it is what it is. My number one mentor, seriously, is Jesus. I know. Even my producer has deflated himself. It is. I know it sounds stereotypical, but he inspires me. He does. I want the mind that is in Christ to be also in me. I love his character. I love the person that he is. I love the way that he handled people. I love the way that he loved. I love the way that he gives. I love the way that he serves. I love everything about him. I love his wisdom and his knowledge. And so I long for that. And so I go to him. I go to him for guidance, and I look to him for direction. He is my mentor. And and then I don't get me wrong, I do have people in this physical realm that are mentors to me. My boss is my mentor. Because he's a great guy. He's very, very, very intelligent. He has an understanding. He's full of so much wisdom. But all the things that they are, my trainer, all the things that they are, they're an embodiment of Christ. And whether they know it or not, I see it first in Christ so that I could see it in them. And so Jesus he's my mentor. I mean, you can talk about me all you want to. I don't care. He's my mentor, and I like that. I do. I like that. Okay, so that is going to. I didn't make it through everybody's questions, and so we'll save those for next time. We'll hopefully start with those next time. But we are going to get ready to. Hopefully, you guys have been dropping in your new questions in the comments, and so I am going to start answering your questions right after this. created Next Level to help women ready to cross that bridge, get a vision of themselves, and take action to be who they know they want to be. What we do is we equip women with the tools they need to navigate their journey. You'll hear from and engage with others that have successfully managed challenging situations. You will get help from people who are willing to help you turn your dream into reality. So you are never alone. Can you imagine getting support from women that you look up to? You can look back and realize that you went from a chaotic state of existing to a balanced life worth living. You are next level. Welcome back to Next Level Conversations. Your host is here doing Ask Me Anything, and you all have been asking me anything. And I have really been enjoying this. So now we've gone through some of the questions that have come in online, in the comments online, and a lot of people text me different questions, emailed me questions, and so I've tried to go through all of those. And so now we're going to take the questions from our live audience. If you all have any, please go ahead. Feel free to drop them in the chat. I basically done told y'all, everything, all my business. So hopefully y'all don't get too much more personal on me. So, but anyway, keep at it. You sure you want to do this every month? Yeah, I'm not for sure, but God knows, I trust God. I trust God. And God woke me up at like 3:00 in the morning with this idea. And so I'm going to trust him to lead wherever it goes. Wherever he wants to go with it, I'm willing to trust it. Even if I feel like I've been ripped open and all this different type of stuff. It's cool. I'm cool with it. Okay. Other than Christ, I love to know your favorite Bible character and why. Ooh. Okay, let me calm down. Okay, my most favorite. Okay, my most favorite Bible character other than God. Other than Christ. I'm trying to, because I'm gonna tell you I have quite a few. So let me pick who's my absolute top and favorite. It's probably Apostle Paul. He's I think Paul at the end of the day, and I love me some David, Joseph, I love Jacob, I love them all. But I think at the end of the day, Paul is my favorite because of his level of his desire. And I think that's what it was. It was his deep rooted desire to know God on a level that surpassed everything that he saw. The way that he went through everything that he went through, even the things that he did wrong, and having to deal with the guilt and the restoration of that and the reconciliation of that, and then the way that he began to teach out of that place of I was wrong, that place of that place of love and that place of servitude. Paul just inspires me. The way that he searched for God. Oh my God, it touches my soul. I connect with him so much. He had a deep rooted desire to know the depth of God. And sometimes I have to tell myself, I tell God that I'm a stalker because I want to cut his heart open and I want to crawl inside and then I want to stitch it back together and I want to just sit right in there. And I think Paul had that same love and emotion that I had, and you can hear it, you can see it, and he was okay with it. And so I love that so much about him. So hopefully that answers your question. How did you become so comfortable being trans? How did you become so comfortable being transparent? When I realized, oh, okay, I'm about to cry. Okay, um, when I realized in 2016 that that hiding wasn't working for me, that it no longer served me. That's when I realized that in order to in order to be free, I was gonna have to I was gonna have to share. And it was very, very, very hard for me to do. But again, as I talk about, it's that deep rooted desire to want to be whole. I want to be whole. I want to be healed. I want to be healthy. I want to live. And the silence and the secrecy of myself, my thoughts and the things that I was going through, they weren't serving me. And basically, I remember when I realized that my ego had completely betrayed me. My ego that said that stay silent and don't let anybody know about what's going on with you. It had completely betrayed me. And that's when I learned to, thank you. That's when I learned and I realized that you got to do something else because the silence ain't working. The silence does not free you. The silence just caused me even more pain. And so I learned how to open up my mouth and start talking. And I apparently haven't learned how to shut up. Woo! How do you resist the urge to run when fear surfaces? Baby, baby, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Um, Again, this is gonna sound crazy, and y'all, I'm not crazy, but for real, this is real life for me. I believe that God has given me, God has blessed me to be trained by the spirit of war. I'm a fighter, and I did not realize I didn't know how to fight. I didn't fully know how to fight at one point in time in my life. And in the midst of my journey to become healthy and to reclaim my identity, God allowed me to run straight head on. The Bible talks about the Bible talks about the spirit of war and different things like that. I believe the angel of war. I believe that God has allowed me to connect with somebody who, I mean, he was in heaven. He was a fighting fool. Okay. And so I'm trained by him on a daily basis. And I know this sounds so crazy, but the way that we train in the physical and the way that I push my body and challenge my mind in the physical, it it transfers over into the other areas of my life. And he has, as part of our training, and he has helped me to be able to recognize, because I couldn't recognize fear. I didn't. I'm not gonna play around. Fear disguised itself, and often it does, and a lot of times it disguises itself. So I couldn't pull back the curtain and see it. So I was running from something, or I was walking away from something, or saying, you know what, that just ain't for me, and all the different types of stuff, not even realizing that that was fear, or that I was moving in fear and stuff like that. And the more we train and I do things, he makes me realize you're running, you're running, you're running. And I didn't know that. I didn't. But now I can see it. So how do I stand when fear arises? One, I can now recognize it. I can recognize my actions. I can recognize fear words. I can see it now. And then I often come back to this one thing. I told y'all Christ is my mentor. So I often come back to this one thing, that in the Garden of Gethsemane, when right before Jesus is betrayed, the Bible talks about how Jesus did not move his feet. He stood. He stood still. He stood in it and he fought it. And so I always come back to that. When sometimes I throw a punch, and I'm not talking about just a physical punch. I'm talking about a life punch, or I'll throw something up in the air and hope for a Hail Mary, but then I'll be trying to run with one leg, one foot, and I'll remember Christ stood. So stand, Shawnte. Stand. I don't care what this looks like. Stand. And so that is how I've gotten to the point where I face fear. And sometimes I'm doing it shaking like crazy, tears running down my face, with an anxiety attack, but I'm standing right there and still doing it. And every time it's always a great reward because I win every time. So hope that helps. What are you afraid of? What am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? I fight not being good enough. I am. I do. I fight that. I fight that with myself. A lot of days I'm just like, I'm afraid that I'm just not good enough. I'm just not good enough. And so I have to combat that. I have to combat that fear with my victory log. That's the reason why I keep it. And God constantly reminded me of the things that I have accomplished and who I am. And so that's because that's the truth. That's a real thing for me. Every time I go to another level, which I've just been released in my life for next level, because I've been fighting so many things, and there's been a breaking in the spirit here recently. And God was like, okay, so now it's time for you to go to the next. And I'm always afraid that I'm going to go up higher and I'm just not ready. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And so I have to fight that. I have to fight that. And I do it every single day. I practice fighting even when there's nobody to fight and nothing to fight, because you gotta stay ready. So you be ready. I can't even remember what it is. It's just blowing my mind, but always be ready. Always be ready. You do not prepare for war during wartime. You prepare for war during peacetime. And so I'm constantly in training. The fasting is not for right now. The fasting is for when the trials come. I've trained for it, and so that's the thing that I'm afraid of, and that's how I fight it. I thought you were going to say David. I know, because David is my boy. How do you celebrate your accomplishments? One, I put them in my victory log. I do. I put them in my victory log, and I remind myself about them, and they make me smile so much. Two, I will go and I will, let me see, what's something here recently that I've done as I've celebrated my accomplishments. I take myself out to eat. I'll go buy me some ice cream or something like that, because these are things that I don't do all the time. So when I do little things and move and accomplish things, I celebrate with things that I don't sit in all the time. So these little luxuries and stuff. What else do I do? I get with my girls, and I tell them, they help me celebrate. I like telling people about the things that I've accomplished, and I just pat myself on the back. I do. I pat myself on the back, and I brag about myself to myself. So those, I know that's not fun, but hey, that's my thing. Did you ever doubt people would show up to the things you were creating? What made you push through those doubts? And did God give you, okay, so I'm going to answer one question at a time. Those two are together. Did you ever doubt people would show up to the things you were creating? And what made you push through those doubts? So I have been in church and ministry my whole life. And I have always been an organizer and creator. So I'm always putting on something. We put on praise dance concerts, conferences, um, you, I mean, youth conferences, women's conferences. I mean, a little bit of everything, auctions and walkathons. If you can think of it, I have probably put it on. And there is always this terrifying fear that the only people that are going to show up are my peoples, my family members, and a few other people. Like, it's always that terrifying fear. And sometimes it was just them. It was just them. It was just us three little folks or something like that. But what God always reminded me is that's enough. You still do it. And I mean, when I do anything, I plan it according to what it is that I see, what God has given me. And I'm always reminded, if it's not just but one person there, then that's the one person that was meant to be there, because I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for him. It's all about his glory. And as God recently reminded me, as little as 2 or 3 days ago, I just told you to create the table. I didn't tell you to sit anybody at the table. That's his job. And so I've been charged to do my part, and everything else is God's part. It took me a long time to realize that, a long time. And the Bible talks about one plants the seed, one waters the seed, God gives the increase. My job is just to do my part and allow him to do the rest. It took a long time and getting over self, because for a while I would think, well, they don't want to hear and participate in what I'm creating. That's not it at all. That's not it at all. They're not rejecting me. That has nothing to do with me. And so if I do what I'm supposed to do, everything else will take care of itself. That's what I've had to learn. And so that's what I sit in. So even if I put on anything and nobody's on, I'll get online, and for a long time I would do lives and nobody would be on there, but I would speak as if it was thousands of people online. This was during COVID, as if it was thousands of people online, like I was talking to a whole lot of people. I didn't realize that I was getting practice for even being here, but you do what it is that God has given you to do, and he'll do the rest. That's what I had to learn. What made you want to push through those doubts? Okay, you got that. Did God give you specific chapters and verses to meditate on, and would you care to share? Oh, can I go into my phone? Because yes, I always get one of the ones, and this is the last question I'm gonna be able to take. One of my absolute favorites that I sit in all the time, and I always go back to it. Always go back to it. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not upon your own understanding. In all of your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. I learned that at a very young age. Growing up, my Bible verse is in Isaiah, and for the life of me right now, it's off of my brain and I cannot remember it. But it was, he will keep thee in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed up on him. Growing up, the enemy was so adamant about taking my mind. My thoughts were so dark. And so all through high school, that was the scripture I just continued to tell myself. Now, I am always in the 23rd Psalms when when I feel like I want to run, or I feel like I want to disconnect from God, because sometimes fear will make me decide to step in front of God, or God to keep moving, and I'll stand back right here, and I need to reconnect to God. So I'll break out in the 23rd Psalms. And then another one that I quote often: whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are holy. I'm probably getting it all mixed up because you're getting me off the top of my head. Whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are of a good report, whatsoever things are righteous, think on those things. I think that's Romans. Think on those things. I got it in my phone. So those are some of the scriptures that have that God has given me that I keep with me. That I always, you'll always hear me. I'll probably not line and verse, but I'll be quoting them. Those are mine. Those are mine. And not just quoting them, but okay, Shawnte, is this a good thought? Is this a holy thing? Is this a righteous thing? The thing you're thinking about, is that pure? You know, so that's how I catch my thoughts. I try to live the scriptures that I quote. So hopefully that helps. All right. So that has been, did y'all enjoy that? Did y'all enjoy that? Drop it in the comments. Did y'all enjoy that? And is that something that you all want more of? I really did have a lot of fun doing that. It was bad, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I thank you all for your participation. I thank you for your questions. I thank you for indulging us. I thank you for joining us on tonight. If you enjoyed this episode and the transparency and the things that we talked about, one of the things that we do here at Next Level Conversations is we have these type of open conversations with women, all different types of women, about the different things that they've gone through in their life. And we share these types of conversations, not just here on the show every Wednesday night, but in NexLevel Magazine. If you have not downloaded NexLevel Magazine, I encourage you to go and download it now and grab the issue. Real conversations from women that I've interviewed just like this, and articles written by women who are transparent and open about the situations in their life, and they provide tips and guidance and things that you can use to help you in your everyday life, and how to implement and utilize those tools and those weapons. We want you to have a treasure chest. You can also get a new episode on our podcast, Next Level You podcast, empowering and equipping you with the tools you need to create a life that you love. Join us every Wednesday. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube, please go and do that now. If you are not following us on social media, connect with us every day, every single day. We are giving you something to brighten your life, to help you, to move you. The world is doing what the world is doing, and God has given us great insight. And so we want to be found guilty of serving you with everything that God has given us. The other thing that I am really excited about, I almost forgot, y'all. I almost forgot. As y'all can see, my hair looking good. I got my hair retightened, right? And so every week we want to spotlight a business every single week. And this week we are going to spotlight my stylist, because so many people have been asking me. I get so many inboxes. Who does your hair? Oh, your hair looks good. It looks so great. My girl, Kinney, at Lady K Braiding and Styling Salon. I want to shout out to her. We are spotlighting her on this week. Go and follow her. Go book the look. She helps you create the look that you love. And one of the things that make my hair look so good and has grown my hair so much is this hair treat oil that she has created. And you can order it on Amazon, or you can get it on her website at Lady K Salon. But I just want to encourage you. I want to shout out to her. Thank you so much, Kente. And you guys go follow her. You can follow her on Instagram. I think it's Miss Lady K, and on Facebook. And she has a TikTok account. So go follow her and see the great things that she's doing, especially when she had your girl just hooked up looking good. Because it's growing. I'm excited. I am excited. And so before we get ready to go, I pray that you all have been blessed. Go tell 5 people. Go tell 5 people about one thing that you learned on tonight. Ideas grow because they're spread. So go and share. Do not hold the wisdom that you have on tonight, that you received on tonight. Go share it with somebody. Until next week, I love you guys. I pray for you, and I thank you.